Yeah, I know.
Oh, I was just saying, move the wire more.
Oh, damn.
Just take it out.
I lost the slide.
Yeah, I got you, brother.
Oh, you unplugged it.
is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place.
Kickball.
First or your last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the Crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning. Good morning. Right back like we never left. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, Kansas City, talking sports and pop culture. If you're listening to the W Show on 100.1 FM, on Kansas City Radio, we appreciate you making us a part of your Saturday morning. If this is your first time checking us out, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Good morning.
What up?
Man, have a guest join. Well, I guess not a guest because he's very familiar with the show, coming to hang out.
One of the originals.
Man. Mr. Quinn Day, what's happening, man?
Hey, man, just hanging in there.
Coach
man.
Q.
Coach Q. Yeah, for real now. It's solidified at this point. Just happy to be here, man. Always like to stop in when I got a free Saturday. So
exactly, man. I want to say shout out to Team Heartland, the real winners
Oh my gosh.
of the day. Got the dub in last night at Children's Mercy Park with the Kansas City Current. That game was pretty fun. The media game.
Is that your team?
Yeah, it was my team. Yeah. You
Yeah, he didn't really contribute that much, but it was his squad for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's film to show that I had my assist, I had my touches. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
So
Did you score though?
You didn't score, is what you're saying.
it was 1-0. We gonna roll the film and roll the tape and show that it was basically my ball to kick in, but somebody else like jumped in front of me and got it. So it's all good.
Dang, so you don't have the Mamba mentality. That's sad.
I do. I contributed.
I hate that for you.
That's not good.
Look, I told my team shoot going into it. So hey, I took my chances. They didn't they don't always go your way.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. It doesn't always go my
Sound
way.
like
Yeah.
the clip was empty on that shoot.
Hey, but look, winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. So
He won the game, though, Jazz.
you play to win. Why do we play, Jazz?
We play to win, but I didn't win the game. So
Man, that was,
Steve didn't win it though.
Yeah,
the team won it. Team win.
yeah. I'm all about Team Q.
Sure.
sense of win.
We have a lot to talk about coming up on today's show. The Chiefs, they're playing at home today at Arrowhead. Training camp ended on Thursday. We'll hear from Coach Andy Reid and see how he felt training camp went. And it's official. Sports betting is legal in Kansas, and they start in September 1st. Jazz will give us all the details coming up in a few. Deshaun Watson, his suspension is increased to 11 games. He also received the largest player fine in NFL history. Man. And coming up, we'll also talk Tiger Woods. He makes his return as cover athlete for PGA Tour 2K23. And coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll have our sneakers of the week. Let's get to today's headlines.
And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the Crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
The Kansas City Chiefs training camp ended on Thursday morning. Let's hear what head coach Andy Reid thinks about camp first.
Characterize this camp. Did you get done everything you wanted? Yes, I did. Well, we did. I think I challenged the guys with some, which I think was important. That bonding becomes important, and you bond when you've got to do something tough. And they answered the bell, and every day. So I appreciate the effort that went into it, and I know some of them were hurting. But they got up and they pushed through, and that foundation will pay off for them down the road here.
Steve, you were at training camp every day. How do you think it went?
I think it went well. I mean, coming into training camp, Well, first of all, the Chiefs are one of 6 teams that actually go away for training camp, which I think is good. I think there's a lot of distractions. Let's just say they were still, in Kansas City. There's still a lot of distractions for the young guys, right? Like you got all the veterans that are good. They know how to, go through training camp and know the grind, but just going away and getting that camaraderie, like Coach Reed said, I think it's still good. But the thing about coming into this season was the wide receivers, no Tyreek Hill. How would they be able to cope without him? And I think now seeing the receivers in MVS, and you have Juju Smith-Schuster, you have all the guys, Sky Moore. I think they'll be fine. People don't understand when I say that the Chiefs will be much better at wide receiver than they were with Tyreek Hill. They have more options now, which is going to be good for Patrick Mahomes, because this is how you're going to know if he's a great player or not. Not saying that he's not good, but this is how great players become legends, because look at Tom Brady, when they're able to make their teammates better.
Much better? You think they'll be much better without Tyreek?
I think so.
That's wishful thinking.
He's biased.
And that's not biased, because with Tyreek Hill, you only get the one track mind. It's always either go deep or nothing at all, which is why other teams were able to cope. They played the high cover 2 shell, and that's when they started having troubles. Tyreek Hill was like, I never knew how to run an underneath route until this past year, when teams started playing them differently. It was always go deep and we're going to win that way.
Wasn't a no-look pass an underneath route?
That wasn't to Tyreek Hill.
Okay. I thought it was a Tyreek.
So, I mean, that's why I feel like they're going to be a lot better, is because it's like you don't have Tyreek as an option. So at least the first 5 or 6 games, until teams start figuring out, all right, this is what they're able to do and what they're capable of. And then you have a running back who I feel like is going to be Kareem Hunt-esque in Isaiah Pacheco, the rookie. So you're going to be able to spread things out and run the ball. So you're going to be much better than you were.
I'm still on the end of wishful thinking.
I think they'll be all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just going by the eye test and what I see.
Because
sometimes that eye test,
because
the
popular stance, and really the obvious stance, is that yes, you lose one of the top 3 receivers in the league, you're not getting better, no matter who you add. And unless you add number 1, 2, or 3 in the league, you don't get better. That's the obvious choice. Now, you watch Rich Eisen's spiel on them being better and having more options. The options have to click, though. And I think the thing that we keep forgetting, again, when we interviewed McCole, said it took him 2 years to get comfortable in the offense.
That was as a rookie, though. That was as a rookie. You got veterans coming in that are able to figure it out better, easier.
But still, 2 years. Josh Gordon in his 2 years hasn't.
Bad example.
Is he still there?
Bad example.
Is he still there?
Wait, what are we talking about? We're talking about a veteran that came back after a couple of years off, and then he comes into the offense, and everyone is excited. It's Josh.
I wasn't. I'm still not. He's gonna be cut. He's on.
Yes, you were.
Well, I mean, no matter if he's cut.
Target.
Yeah, no matter if he's cut or not. The idea, and more than the idea, the basis is that it takes a while to gel into this offense. For you to become a target that produces. You have to be able to be in the right spots. You can't just wing it. Like Patrick, again, no look passes and the timing of this offense. You have to be in the right spots. And I don't see MVS. I don't see Juju. I don't see a lot of these guys being where they need to be and being on the same page and having that chemistry with Patrick over just a training camp. Like training camp and OTAs or whatever you have, whatever they did in the off season, but that's still not live in game. You don't know how players react. You don't know the players next to you and things like that. So again, it's wishful thinking to think that all of these new players are going to come in and produce like Tyreek Hill. Now, I could be dead wrong
You
in
are.
a couple of months.
You are.
I could be dead. I could be dead wrong, and that's fine. It wouldn't be a first. But I mean, what I'm saying is that I need to see it.
Yeah.
Like I need to see Tom Brady lose before I say he's not good. Like I need to see him not produce in crunch time to say he's not good, and to say he's not one of the GOATs at his position. Now, when you're talking about Patrick Mahomes, yes, he could be a GOAT at his position. But if you don't have Tyreek Hill and your main weapon is Travis Kelce, like teams had to figure out how to bracket coverage and do different things to stop Tyreek and Travis Kelce. They had a very hard time to do that. Didn't many teams do it? But then when you have Travis Kelce alone on an island and you have these other threats just kind of running around, the X factor was Tyreek's speed and him being able to not be tackled and him being able to be so elusive. And I would need to see it. I haven't seen it. If I don't see it, I can't say it. And especially for an offense like Andy Reid's offense that takes a while to get settled into. And it could happen very quick for some guys. I haven't seen that. In all the years that I've watched Eagles football and Chiefs football, I haven't seen anybody pick up Andy Reid's offense like that.
But and here's the thing too, like you had Travis, you had McCall, Juju, all these guys talk about the freedom that they're able to do. And believe it or not, when we hear about Aaron Rodgers, we hear about Russell Wilson taking his teammates down to San Diego. So you have all these new pieces. Like it's not going to be just the Chiefs. Like we talk about the AFC West being the toughest division in the league. The Raiders, who they get? They got Devontae Adams, Russell Wilson, new to the.
We're not high on the Raiders.
So, but I'm just saying, like this AFC West. So it's still the Chiefs. It's still the Chiefs' division to lose.
Yeah, because I want to say the Chargers, but I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, you still have Justin Herbert, who's still kind of in the learning stage. I think,
and I'm not going to say he's in the learning stage, but you just have a team.
You have to learn how to win.
Well, you haven't had a team that's gotten over the hump. The year before last, Josh Allen in Buffalo was that. Like they were that team that didn't really get over the hump. They didn't really show that like promise to be a Super Bowl team. And I think you have that with the Chargers and Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert is very talented. I think the pieces around him have to come together. And this is his third season. Yeah. So in his third season, it's show and prove. And I mean, I'm not going to compare him to Baker Mayfield. So don't take it as that.
No.
But
no way.
Baker Mayfield, when it came to his time to show and prove, he couldn't. So again, it leaves that question mark. And that's the good thing about football preseason. You could throw out all of these predictions and these what you think is going to happen, but I think what's going to happen in the AFC West is it's going to be very contentious. I'm going to go out on a limb and say the Chiefs don't win it this year for the first time in how many years? I don't know who though. That's my thing.
I agree with that.
Any other standouts or people that you're looking forward to outside of the wide receiver group?
Like I said, Isaiah Pacheco. I think he's that rookie. And then Joshua Williams, HBCU defensive back, new guy, rookie. I think, and here's another thing. The reason why I say what I said is like you had all these teams, the Broncos, the Chargers, the Raiders. They all went out and got who? Fast, young defensive backs for Tyreek Hill. Now, when you get
for Tyreek,
yeah, you did. You had to go and get people that are faster to be able to compete with Tyreek and McCoy. And now you get a 6'3", 6'4". You still got Kelce at 6'5". The Chiefs have gotten much taller and much longer at receiver,
but they still got to catch the ball.
They still got to catch the ball.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, because 11 was tall.
We'll see.
And where's he at?
Hey man, hey.
That's his boy.
That's my boy. Don't do
that. No. I take nothing away from that. I'm not even doing that. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you still have to catch the ball. You still have to produce. Like, making the team is one thing, but then like, what do you do with it?
He don't really drop passes though.
He doesn't really drop passes, but what's the running joke in Chiefs Kingdom about him?
Got to run forward.
Oh,
Got to run forward.
so produce.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're not getting positive yards, that's not produce.
That's my boy.
We talked about it. He got a strong resume. He's a very strong resume.
Yeah, and I get it because
He's waiting for him to get picked back up.
Exactly, because he can be in that position. It's a receiver-rich league. That can happen. But again, when you get in that position, you have to produce. So again, when you talk about the homies, McCole has to produce this year.
Talk about the homie. Talk about him, Q.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like McCole has to produce this year, and he knows that. We talked about that for Super Bowl. Exactly. We talked about that during the Super Bowl. Even what was it, around the draft?
Yep.
And nobody talked about him. Like I think it was a graphic that came out, and he wasn't even on the graphic. Yep. So again,
McCole wasn't.
Yeah, so it takes that. Again, you have to produce in that position, and
I think he will this year.
I hope so.
I think he will.
I really hope so, because it even still I brought him up. The guy at training camp for the past couple of weeks hasn't said anything about it.
I mean, that's a given though. So Patrick Mahomes asked about him all the time. Like, you know, who's going to get the Tyreek Hill type routes? Like, you know, I had Tyreek Hill in the Wildcat, had him just doing, you know, different things. And McCole, everyone's answer. McCole is that guy, and I think that's just like he's the elder statesman in that room as far as like definitely. Chiefs years.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about like being in the league, but like Chiefs years, he's the elder guy that knows the offense. So, yeah.
Now the Chiefs take on the Washington Commanders today at 3 p.m. What can we expect from the starters today?
I mean, they're going to play first quarter, I think. But, you know, there's going to be no Chad Henne today, so it's going to be a lot of the young guys. So if you're going out to the game, just be ready to drink a few and kick back and relax, because you're not going to see much of the offense.
It's preseason. If you were going to go look for good football during preseason,
I mean, but you still want to see the young guys. What you can expect. That diamond in the rough. There's always one.
And they're trying to make the team still.
They are.
Exactly. And
they're about to be out there playing hard.
And when's the last time you paid attention to the third game of preseason?
It's the second. No, it's the second.
Oh, it's second.
Yeah, second.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, they 0-2.
Don't do that. We ain't gonna do that this morning.
They're about to be.
All right, my bad.
Now it's official. Sports betting is legal in Kansas starting September 1st. What are you guys' thoughts?
I'm excited about it.
Loves it.
Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
I am too.
Yeah.
I'm getting mine in.
I know producer Roderick is excited. He bets. He learning though. We're gonna get him there. We're gonna get him there. But I'm excited. I mean, of course, you're gonna have to go across the state line and make your bets.
What they say? Like, where is it at?
I mean, Hollywood Casino.
Oh, Hollywood. Okay, we can go pick up our tickets.
Yeah.
Yep, Hollywood Casino.
Well, you can use apps, because there's apps with like that have your location. So as long as you're on the Kansas side of the state line, you'll be able to bet. But y'all probably really want to look into the laws behind that, and just to make sure you aren't breaking like crazy laws online and all that.
Yeah.
You end up like Calvin Ridley.
Ain't gonna be that bad. I ain't got that much money.
Right.
Calvin, I ain't gonna worry about little old me.
Calvin under the table, boy.
Yeah.
My little twos and fews ain't gonna be mad up to that. I'm telling you.
I'm just trying to do a couple parlays. That's all.
Now, Deshaun Watson's suspension increased to 11 games, receives the largest player fine in NFL history. Q, we'll start with you.
This one, because that's my favorite player.
Yeah. I mean, it was deserved.
I just feel like I'm happy that it's done. Both parties came to a agreement. I feel like 11 games is pretty stiff for all the stuff that's not came out about it. Not being biased. I mean, he's not 100% innocent. I mean, he put himself in position to be where he's at right now. But I was looking into why he got the $5 million fine. It was a lot of stuff about how his contract was put together, and they were saying that most of the time players don't get like a fine; they don't receive an actual fine. But when they get suspended, that's kind of the way the NFL takes their money. Like that's their fine. But the way that his contract was structured, he was only going to lose about, I think, less than $690,000 for 11 games. And normally a player would lose way more than that for 11 games. But I think he signed like a $44.9 something million signing bonus when he signed the contract. So most of his money came off, like, you know what I mean? He got most of his money up front like that. So they were just trying to figure out a way to basically, you know what I'm saying, make the punishment actually make him feel it. And so, I mean, like I said, I'm just happy that he can put it behind him after these 11 games is over with. What I don't like is I don't like the fact that the first game that he's able to come back and play is against the Texans in Houston.
I mean,
and I just don't. I think that this is kind of like they just trying to set him up for failure. I feel like,
the NFL
so
lives for a storyline.
Yeah.
And I kind of went in on this last week, and when we've been talking about it, and I feel like you said, making him feel it as he should. Like I feel like 6 games was not for other things, and not to compare anybody's situations. Everybody's situations are different, but to only have 6 games compared to other suspensions, I feel like 11 was only fitting to make him feel it. Like there's other things that have been done that are way less, that have had way more punishment. So I feel like 11 is only fitting.
Even after he sat out a whole year.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Because that sitting out was voluntary.
Right.
True. I mean, I just think, and going off the, I understand what he did. Terrible. However, when you look at everyone else's suspensions and what they did, and you got to go play by the book, right? If we're being honest, now the NFL has always been, we can't say by the book, but as far as like, this is kind of like one of those made up type suspensions, right? As far as you go and get an outside arbitrator, and she used to be a federal judge, and so I felt like once Roger Goodell wanted to take it out of his hands and put it into someone else's hands, so he doesn't have to. There's no bias there. That should have been what it was. Well, and then once he brings it back to him, then he gives it to someone else. We don't know nothing about who this other person is that he's giving it to, and I get it. Like they're supposed to be, unbiased, but I just felt like, they put a lot of penalty on it, whereas it's kind of like backtracking. Oh, well, she only gave him 6 games, so we got to figure out what to do to punish him even more. Now, was it worth it? Yes, the punishment was, but was it? Can we say that it was fair?
Yes.
I can't say that it was fair. I mean,
he could have got a whole season,
but it wasn't fair.
It's fair because he could have got another whole season.
He could have, and they came to an agreement.
A lot of that played in the part 2 when I was reading it. The fact that he sat out all year, and still got he got paid last year. All those games he was just inactive. So he still got paid all last year. So that was another thing that they had talked about. Like he didn't play and still got paid. They were going to try to figure out some type of way to find that young man. But like I said, we don't know all the details about everything. But what I do understand is he went through 2 grand juries, and they couldn't find anything criminal about what he did. And I mean, I just feel like that means something. That has to mean something. And I don't like bringing up other people, but Ben Roethlisberger got 3 games, and
we see the jig. Like we've known the racism in not only the justice system but in the NFL. We've known
3 games.
We've known about race norming. Like we've known about a lot of that, and that's like Peyton Manning has some sexual assault past.
Exactly.
So yes, the NFL picks and chooses when to look over things and when to be heavy-handed. And of course, we know when it's black players, they're going to be heavy-handed. But you can't do create. Like they knew it was nasty business going on.
Yeah, they knew it.
Like there was a lot of nasty business going on, and the team the team did everything that they could to protect themselves within that nasty business, and that's just the nastiness because we hear about Deshaun, but we don't hear about the team and the whole NFL.
Yeah, because once they had to testify, they got rid of it. They settled all them cases for the the ones that they like set up and paid for, and they got on the stand and said,
did that.
We're gonna settle all this stuff.
Look, and they did that for PR because again they had NDAs, so I'm sure that they had that money just sitting in the tub waiting.
And you said something right there that kind of, and I've been talking about this. The NFL, they really don't care about women. I mean, to be honest, this is like all PR.
I mean, I've been saying it from the start.
All
like,
PR.
And a lot of the organizations set this up and did the things that they could to try to cover their tracks to enable his behavior. Yeah. So it was already set up, like that was already premeditated that they don't care about the women's feelings.
I think the problem is, for me, I feel like for him that the 11 game suspension came in so hard and heavy, and the $5 million fine. It's because now the social media outlets that we got, you got all these different TV shows, all these different people that got their opinion about what happened and what he did, and now Roger Goodell got to hear it 30 times on 30 different TV shows. On
you think he watches that?
Man, but you hear it though, because everybody got their opinion on what should happen. Oh, he should get 12 games, or he should get suspended a whole year, or this or this or this or that. But I think that's just, it's bad timing right now when it comes to like that.
When it comes to NFL commissioners like Roger Goodell, when it comes to team owners like Bob Johnson, they don't care about what people think.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, but he still got to cover his back because people were saying 6 games wasn't enough. And he was like, all right, I'm gonna give him 11.
They just need PR, and they again. They know everything that's going on months in advance before we even hear about it in the public. So they just had us waiting, just to hear, and that's fine.
I just want to see my boy back on the field, man.
And I think a lot of it too was people were talking about the statement that he put out supposedly, and then what he said in the press conference. And the statement was like, I apologize once again for any pain this situation has caused. I take accountability for my decisions I made. My focus going forward is working on becoming the best version of myself and off the field and supporting my teammates however possible while I'm away from the team. I'm excited about what the future holds for Cleveland. And then he goes and says, I stand on my innocence. Yeah. So people were like, well, why are you apologizing if you're standing on your innocence? So I think there was something there that's
like
kind of just like
compliment. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm still innocent.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the people that I hurt, but I didn't do nothing.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's what he basically said. Exactly. I still didn't do nothing, but I'm sorry.
I'm going through I'm going through the process so I can play.
But for me, it's like hold your apology then, because it's just like, okay, you're just trying to save face. Like you don't actually genuinely mean your apology. You're just doing that because you have to.
And we still haven't heard apologies from the team owner.
Yeah,
we haven't heard apologies from their legal team. We haven't heard apologies from anybody that played a part in it except for Deshaun. And that's the part that I hate. Like if we're so quick to like dish out accountability, then where's Bob Johnson and his legal team? Like why
are he saying nothing?
Why, they haven't said that. No, but he put it in motion because he was the one that had it in his back pocket as soon as Deshaun asked for a trade. And that's what I hate about it. Like they put him in this position.
As soon as
they enabled him,
this came out.
And but again, it shows you it shows you the nasty business of the NFL. And the NFL is very nasty behind the scenes. As good as the game is, and as much as we love the game, the business of the NFL is very nasty.
Man, that organization alone. Like, I don't know if y'all remember Andre Johnson. Y'all remember Andre Johnson? Andre Johnson had a lot of stuff to say about that organization, like how bad it was upstairs, like in the front office, and he was just saying that was one of the worst, like organizations he ever been a part of.
Tried to tell us.
And I mean, they had, what was the he's now coaching, assistant coach in college. Dang, he was the GM and the head coach.
Yeah, he got rid of
Mr.
DeAndre Hopkins. He got, how do you do that?
Yeah,
Bill O'Brien.
Bill O'Brien.
Like,
how do you do that, bro? That just made zero sense to me. But anyway, I'm a Deshaun Watson fan, and that's my favorite player. So hey, we can go on and on and on, but let's move on.
No, I think that the NBA was kind of tardy to this party, but they won't have games on Election Day in 2022.
Tardy to the party.
Tardy to the party.
Yeah, it's good for the league. I think this is a progressive league. no matter we talk about the NFL, we talk about the MLB who's struggling to get fans to the stands. I mean, the NBA, I mean, they're moving no matter if it's late or whatever, they're still trying to move into the right direction.
What's going on though, man? Like all these players just want to be leaving and moving and grooving. And, it's crazy because the Christmas schedule came out, not to jump subject, but the Christmas schedule came out and Brooklyn Nets ain't even on the Christmas schedule. I'm like, how Kevin Durant ain't playing on Christmas? And Kyrie, like, oh my, they must know something that we don't know. Like you said, Q,
they know months in advance, and we just waiting for the news to come out.
Well, LeBron's having Christmas early because he just agreed to a 2-year extension with Los Angeles Lakers.
The bag is secured.
I just want to borrow $5.
The bag is secured. Can I get 0.1 of that?
Let me hold some.
$5. Brian.
Yeah. I mean, it's good to get it over with now. It's not a topic of conversation anymore. So they can go into the season.
He's gonna retire a Laker.
Yeah, I think so. I think he'll probably do this one and then one more after.
He need to go on back to Cleveland.
Nah, man. Nah. He's gonna have Bronny out there in LA under the bright lights.
They're gonna end up in like Charlotte together.
They're probably gonna do like a sign and trade. Free. Well, I to be honest, I mean, it make more sense for him to do like a free agent type thing.
Yeah, just
like
play
not even go to the
They
draft.
like
They're gonna do
Charlotte
something.
or
They do something crazy. Yeah,
If LeVar can get his sons in there, I know he gonna.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. They gonna end up trading the young ball kid and then,
by hook or by crook, huh?
they gonna trade everybody, and they gonna start all over with Bronny and Bron.
Now, WNBA star blasts league as unsafe as she announces early retirement for healing and personal growth. Let's see what she had to say first.
Yeah, on Twitter it shows she talks about playing for the Sparks and it was a dream come true. And I mean, there is so much that I mean she's 4-time All-Star, right?
Mm-hmm. Come out Cam Bays, right?
Yeah, Cam Bays, yeah. And so she 4-time All-Star. She's she was an MVP candidate at one time, and there was just so much that on her end, on her side of the thing, so much that she did this season. I mean, even when she was talking about the African League, I think, and she has two players from or Nigerian League, Nigerian national team, and she has two Nigerian born players on her team. And so I think there was some locker room things and some other things that
my opinion is she just distracted. She got a lot of other stuff going on for herself other than basketball. She's doing modeling and OnlyFans and doing all that type of stuff. She's out there in LA now, so it's just so much stuff for her. I just feel like she's just distracted, and basketball is just not her number one thing anymore.
Likes to write for her?
Yeah, I just feel like she's just doing other stuff. She's probably making more money in different avenues and doing other stuff. So I just feel like that's what, because you can, it shows in her game. Like she used to be like a dominant, like super dominant. She was like you said, 4-time All-Star, MVP caliber. But I mean, she just haven't been playing like that. And that started when she went to the Aces.
Yeah.
A couple of seasons ago, I want to say last season in the finals, bro, she just was not the same.
Yeah.
And they would have won if she was playing the way that she was supposed to be playing, but she just didn't show up. And I just think that's probably part of the reason.
Shout out to the Sparks, though. They're still, I think 8th place, possibly still make the playoffs. So we'll see.
I feel like
Derek Fisher.
I feel like as a fan and like a fan of women's basketball, I hate to see that in play, but as like an advocate for her, I love to see it, and that she can step away and find other avenues. Because I feel like we talk about so many times how athletes use their brand, use their name after sports, but to see her like step away for a moment, I can respect that. Like now, like while the time is right, go for it. Because basketball is not always gonna be around forever, but other things she's doing might not be either. So I respect what she's doing.
Get the bag.
Yeah,
definitely
take advantage of opportunities, and that she definitely doing that right now.
Facts.
All over everything.
Now, Kevin Durant shuts down rumors pertaining to possible retirement. What do you guys think?
That's his boy over down there on the end of the table.
For sure. I mean, it is what it is. You see what he said. Like everybody, like I said earlier, everybody keeps making all these. They just got a voice. Everybody has a voice. You can come out and say anything. You know what I mean? Especially if you work for ESPN or Bleacher Report or one of those type. Like you say something and everybody gonna believe it. Kevin Durant just simply said, "Hey, listen, man, stop listening to everybody. You heard it from the horse's mouth. I do not plan on retiring no time soon. It don't got nothing to do with these trades or rumor. No, I'll just stop listening to everybody.
But sometimes when there's smoke, there's fire.
Man, boy
he heard it from somewhere.
No, he didn't.
They heard it from somewhere. I'm just it could have been something innocent, like, man, hey, if they try to do me wrong, if they try to keep me here, I won't play. And somebody took it from there. Like, oh, KD's talking about retiring. What? KD's talking about retiring? Tweet. It's out there. That's just how it goes. So
that's what happened with Barry Sanders, wasn't it? He said, I'm tired, and somebody thought he said, I'm retiring.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss Tiger Woods making his return as cover athlete for PGA Tour.
Tiger Woods, y'all.
Keep it locked in. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live. You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want. Now, Tiger Woods makes return as cover athlete for PGA Tour 2K23. Steve, you're the golfer. What are your thoughts?
I'm excited about it. They can't go away from it, you know. I mean, here's the thing. You have so many people leaving and going to the Live tournament. I feel like, you know, Tiger Woods is going to be one of those mainstays that are still with the PGA. He's not going anywhere. I don't think he's going to.
Well, I mean, we see why. Yeah. He's locked in. What do you mean?
Yeah, so I think it's a smart decision, smart play by those at the game company.
It was the easy choice for both sides.
I don't want to ruffle no feathers now, but Steve is not a golfer.
Stop.
Don't do that.
Stop.
It's talking about you're the golfer.
Stop.
Like, don't do that.
The viewers know what it is.
Oh my God.
They seen me at Top Golf. They know what
right,
it is.
Top Golf.
See your little Instagram story.
No, but yeah, because his opposition to Live, it makes sense now. And it definitely makes sense. Come on, guys, we shouldn't do this because I have a bag coming.
Yeah,
that's fine.
I think it'll be probably 6 months before Tiger jumps over. That'll be the end of the PGA. If Tiger jumps over to Live, that'll be the end of PGA.
This game, they're not going to promote that game for 6 months.
You don't think so?
That's probably a year contract, buddy.
Okay.
Aqib Talib was just feet away from the shooter and fatal incident at youth football game.
And this is one I really wanted to talk about because we have a youth coach, right?
yeah, we do.
A youth coach. And so, you know, I think we have to start holding as parents too, holding coaches and parents accountable for just kind of going at referees, because we see a lot of times now it's more highlighted that these referees are starting to fight back or so to speak. You seeing referees and coaches going at it, and I think it's supposed to be about the kids.
And I feel like there's a way to fight back and take control of a game without getting your own emotions involved. Like, I feel like a lot of that stems from the refs not having control of the players, what's going on the field. Like, you got to nip it in the butt from the jump, and you might be called, oh, you're nitpicking calls, stuff like that. But that should be your power trip instead of using it as like pride or arguing back.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's a little bit of both. I feel like as a referee, you have a job, and you have to understand what comes with that job. You have to understand that you're going to have parents that's yelling. You're going to have parents that's saying some stuff that you probably don't want to hear. You're going to have players that's going to say some stuff that you don't want to hear. You're going to have coaches that's going to say some stuff that you don't want to hear. So I think with being a referee, you have to have thick skin. You know what I mean? You can't really, like you said, get into your feelings and start getting so emotional, because once that happens, then the people that really can do that in the stands that don't have a job to ref the game and control the game, they'll give even more. It'll be more and more. But also at the same time, coaches have to hold themselves accountable too. Like you said, I am a coach, and one of my assistant coaches, he came up to me, he said, man, I've reached another level of respect for you, because all summer you never got into it with a referee before. And my whole thing is like, why get into it with the referee? Referees are going to make bad calls. Referees are going to make questionable calls. They're going to make questionable calls against us. They're going to make them against the other team. I said, if we prepare our team to come in and play how we're supposed to play, the referee don't really even matter. We're supposed to prepare that and expect them to make bad calls. It should never be in their hands. And it should never get to a point where a coach is trying to fight the referee or a referee is trying to fight the coach. That's just that makes zero sense to me. I don't understand.
And like they're gonna turn over their
right. It's not gonna make the call change.
Right.
But I think, like I said, I feel like that they need to go through a different type of protocol or whatever, hiring whatever you want to call it, to hire these referees, because you can't just go get Steven out of off the block to come referee the game.
And I mean, that's,
I think
that's, I think that's Texas. I don't think they just hire anybody off of the block. Because the point that I disagree with is refs having thick skin. Like, you shouldn't have a thick skin to do a job. And if I need to have thick skin to be a referee, pay me more.
Well, like, and
that's why we're seeing
thick skin to be a basketball player and football player, and
you have to be thick skinned to like train. You have to be thick skinned in that. You don't have to be thick skinned and somebody just saying whatever they want to you. Like, and that's the issue. Like, we leave it up to, oh, this is how it's been, so we're just gonna leave it like this. Like, nah, we don't need to leave it like this. And that's what the issue is. Like, having thick skin is just something to overlook the problem. I don't feel like we should overlook the problem. And I think a lot of the problem is a lot of the behaviors that we've accepted in sports, and a lot of the trash behavior that we've accepted, like, now that we're trying to correct things, and especially from a very small sense, like trying to correct things, you're always going to get that pushback. Like, you're always, we could talk about it like even in racism. Like, you tell white people about racism, and then they don't believe it and they overlook it and all of this. And it's the same like in football, when you look at a lot of these big personalities and these, I'm a man, nobody can tell me what to do, and I create my own. Nah, you in a society.
But if it's not having thick skin, then throw them out. Because if there's a player during the game that throws a punch, you get carded, you get thrown out the game.
Yeah.
So why is it any different with parents on the sidelines? I feel like it stems from, you should have asserted that power in the beginning. And it doesn't have to be arguing. It doesn't have to be thick skin. Just remove them from the scene.
I had a situation where I was sitting in the stands, and I had a parent that he yelled out and said, "Hey, that's a travel. Call the travel, man. Call the travel next time." And the referee turned around and said, "Shut the bleep up. I'll whoop your bleep." I'm like, that didn't warrant that.
You
see what I'm saying? Call the travel. I mean, that's a normal
And honestly, that's why I said we got to hold the parents and the coaches accountable because they set the tone for the environment. The coaches first, and you see the coaches, and you got some great coaches out there that can coach hard, coach their players up, and then but then you have those ones out there that they always looking for
smoke.
Yeah, they want.
And then we had 2 fights this summer.
In turn, the parents. And then in turn, what does it do? It creates that environment in the gym or on the field or whatever. The kids start doing it.
Yeah. And that's when I was coaching, we had a policy with our parents that you don't talk to the refs. You don't talk to the refs. You don't talk to other coaches.
Yeah.
Like you don't have those exchanges because again, you're looking at competition.
Right.
You don't know how people are,
right.
And it becomes a powder keg.
It becomes this to keep the league.
Yeah, we had 2 fights this summer.
Really?
Like and neither instance was my girls like we didn't start it, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I always tell my girls, listen, I'm not gonna get mad at y'all for defending yourselves.
Of course.
And we got into it with Brad Bill's team. The girls just start swinging on us. And of course, we're gonna defend ourselves. So that was a situation. Then parents came in, and my whole thing was, listen, now that it's done, it's finished, the fight is over with. Listen, I'm gonna take my group over here. Y'all take y'all group over there. I can control my parents. Can y'all control y'all parents?
Yeah, that's what's
you see what I'm saying? Like you listen, it's a done deal. I'm gonna take my group. We gonna leave out of here together. You take care of yours, and it won't be nothing like going into the parking lot and then it be a situation.
Right.
Y'all go to y'all car and in a to leave situation like that happens. For what? Because I know that his brother now is just like it ain't had to end up like that.
Yeah.
Come on now. For a football game. Come on,
a youth, a kids, Pop Warner game.
Yeah, man, like 7, 8th grade, 7 and 8 year old. Should never get to that point.
Definitely. WNBA superstar Wilson becomes the first ever female athlete to sign with Ruffles.
Dope.
Dope. A'ja.
Love
Here we go.
Dope.
Who was that?
A'ja Wilson.
Hey.
A'ja.
Yeah, A'ja Wilson.
I like A'ja Wilson.
Yeah, she's dope. And they look fire too. The Ruffles twist.
Tough.
Yeah.
Very
She's
tough.
dope.
Now we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have our Hate It or Love It segment. Kick it off with our Sneakers of the Week. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the Crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Remember to interact with our show. Use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we'll talk about whatever topic you want.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
Starting off the Sneakers of the Week, we have the Air Jordan 13 French.
I kind of like these, to be honest. I do. I don't know, just the color they go, that blue with the gray, and then you got the red logo on the tongue. Dope.
Decent.
Yeah.
Solid. The Bimbury Crocs Pollux Cobbler.
I love these.
Dumpster juice. I hate these.
Love them. I love
Dumpster. Trash.
And Saleh Bembry, he's a designer, and so he teamed up with Crocs, and he started making these. And it's funny, Travis Kelce had on some. They were like a Carolina blue with the gum bottom. They were dope.
These look like swim shoes. Like you wear them to the neighborhood pool just to make sure you don't step on something.
I mean, Yeah, vibe. You gotta wear it with the right things.
Hard pass.
I would have liked for that designer to not try to look like Yeezys, but okay.
My favorites this week: the Adidas Easy Boost 700 V2.
Dope. Right. I like them.
Tough, very tough. Reebok Question Mids Blue Toe
Classics. I love these.
Yeah, these are classics.
Those,
I remember when these came out.
Yeah, Adam Vaden had them. He was the first ones that had them. Well, I said, "Ooh."
Now the only problem with these shoes is the fact that they would like the toe would crumble at the top.
Yeah,
you see all the little creases in it, yeah, because it wasn't like they weren't leather. They were like something else.
It was a leather.
Yeah. That's what it is, like vinyl or
like
something.
A vinyl or something.
It's aluminum foil.
Now, Mark Cuban talks about Mavs' attempt to trade for Kobe Bryant in 2007. Let's hear what he had to say.
Kobe.
Yeah, basically he was just saying that Kobe was wanting out of LA, and he was talking about Mark Cuban. We're like, hey, we're gonna try to get him in Dallas, and
Chicago,
it didn't. Of course, it didn't work out, but Kobe ended up signing that. What was it, $20 million a year?
Jerry Buss said, "I'm not, boy.
Yep.
Sit down. Not happening."
So yeah, history writes itself.
Yeah, because Magic Johnson asked for a trade.
Antonio Brown calls out Tom Brady, threatens his TB12 trainer. Hate it or love it.
Man, Antonio Brown needs to go sit down somewhere.
Oh, you don't want him talking now, huh?
No, I'm just saying,
because he is sitting down somewhere.
I mean,
he rapping.
He just upset. He's very upset. He's doing anything.
He's calling out hypocrisy.
He's doing anything to put that on. Put that whatever on.
What did he say? Do that dance. Do that.
Look, that got around before he said that. So again, like he didn't look. Tom Brady wasn't a part of the rollout where he's like, all right, I'm going to put out this song and then you go on break so I can talk about it. Like, no, he's just talking about what happened. This is not a promo stunt.
We'll see.
Fernando Tatis Sr. ridicules his son's suspension as a catastrophe. Hate it or love it.
Stand up for your son. Stand up for your son. I mean, it is what it is. And man, PEDs, PEDs.
Yeah, I understand. No, I understand fully because when I was overseas, I can't remember what country I was in, but I almost got suspended because I took a Benadryl, and there was some stuff in Benadryl that I wasn't supposed to have in my system.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because you don't go to IHOP and say what's all in the ingredients in your pancakes.
Yeah,
but you smarter than that. No. You were taking something that's in another country.
What's that mean?
Where do steroids come from?
But what is that's what I'm saying. What does that mean?
He said he was putting something on him for ointment,
and that's what I'm saying.
Like that.
Like
I took a Benadryl, bro.
Because if we're looking at that, yes, if you taking some kind of painkiller or something to alleviate whatever allergies or whatever it is, you don't look at the bottle and say, oh, let me read all of these ingredients and let me Google everything and let me figure out what's banned and what's not. No.
But how easy is it to hand the doctor a pamphlet, be like, I'm an athlete, make sure you steer clear of this?
I know what it is. Here, we're going to say you got wing worm. Go ahead and pop these pills to come back from injury and you'll be straight.
Right.
Yeah, but man, that's just like saying, bro, I got wing worm. Hey, let me run down to CVS real quick and get this ointment.
And that's all. That's about as simple as it is.
He ain't say, hold on, before I try to fix this, let me.
But Clestable ain't going to be in the CVS ointment. That's gonna be behind the counter, and they're gonna
go out your way to get it.
That's gonna be that's something that's behind the counter.
I get that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I get that. But how often when you see a new water, do you pick it up and say, I do actually.
Man,
I do actually.
Go somewhere.
I've seen Steve pick up things and put them in his mouth without finding out what's inside of it.
Whoa, hey, yo.
Next.
Like Steve was eating glizzies in LA.
Stop.
And he didn't check the packaging then.
All right, what we got next?
Next. Now, Oklahoma Sooners QB General Booty launches booty-based clothing.
That's next after that.
Hate it or love it.
Hate it, bro.
That's what I'm talking about.
Terrible timing.
That is quality segments right there, Steve.
My God.
You did that on purpose.
But it's General Booty. That's his name. General Booty. Yeah, so he made an NIL deal. He made clothing line. I Heart Booty, Booty Call, and Booty Bay.
That's like that
General Booty reporting for duty.
His name is the coldest.
Yes.
You got to run with it. Now, Pirates Rodolfo Castro suspended 1 game for having cell phone in pocket during game.
That's
Hate
wild.
it or love it. Let's see the video.
Might have broken the bat right there, and that's going to drop in front of Thomas. Castro hustling into third, and it's a pair of 2-out base runners for the Pirates. Have you ever played with a phone in your pocket?
No. I mean, we didn't have cell phones back when I played. I don't understand that even a little bit. It's...
Shorty said,
Yeah.
Prove it. You're at your game. Prove it.
Yeah.
Prove it.
He had a phone in his
Yeah, he forgot he was texting her.
Ray's broadcaster's phone goes nuts when Jose Siri is announced. Let's see what happened.
Gonna be the hitter.
His name was Jose Siri. She's like, I'm Siri. I couldn't quite catch that.
Terrible timing. Draymond Green had a huge marijuana station at his wedding. Hate it or love it.
Love it.
Love it.
I'll be in
Yeah,
Chicago
it's
next week.
Turn
so.
up, turn up, turn up.
Nebraska wide receiver DeColdis Crawford's amazing air conditioning commercial is NIL at its absolute best.
Love
Hate it or
it.
love
Let's
it.
see this
Love it.
commercial. I
Love
want
it.
to see it.
Please.
I'm so glad we called SOS. RAC is the coldest.
I'm always the coldest.
SOS to the rescue.
Hey, this is Dakota Crawford, wide receiver from Louisiana, now playing in Lincoln. When your AC isn't the coldest, you call SOS Heating and Cooling. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition guaranteed. Take it from the coldest. We will keep you cool this summer.
I love it.
The
I love
coldest.
it. If you're 17, 18, and you're
Get your
getting
bag.
paid to do that,
The coldest.
is that DoorDash? Go get that bag.
Former Nike Vice President Ann Herbert named to Allbirds Board of Directors. Hate it or love it.
I mean, I love it. Go get your money, and
She's named to what?
your son Allbirds. So it's like they do. It's like shoes that they create from the environment. So like
some
plastic.
more shoes her son can
Yeah,
steal.
shoes and apparel.
Oh,
They create from like the
Okay.
environment. So it's
They-
dope. I ain't mad at Ann.
hold up. How does she fail up? Like, how do you steal that much? Like, how do you steal
Hey,
six
if
figures?
if I worked at Nike, man, Peyton, go get these shoes. We gonna make this money.
But why is she
Yes.
getting another job after stealing?
Hey, it's all who you know. It ain't what you know. It's who you know. Q.
Bull. 'Cause
Love it
I know
up.
some people that done did some stuff and keep getting
mean-
jobs.
man.
I mean, if it was LeBron's son, he'd probably be in jail on death row.
Right. Well, we appreciate everyone who tuned in on today's show. Q, we appreciate you for
Thank you.
joining us today. And as always, remember you can watch a rewind of our show on Mondays, 100.1 FM, 1 Kansas City Radio. Remember to like and subscribe all of our social medias. We appreciate you. We are out of here. Until next week.
Peace.
The views and opinions expressed on the W Radio Show by the host, co-host, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed the W Show, 100.1 FM, 1 Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundations, or affiliates.